Future you will thank present you for this. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we are on day 82. I'm going to slide this down a little. It's a little high. Of our Supersize You annual challenge. And our topic today is all about planning and preparing for our retirement. Why? Social Security, my whole lifetime, they've been telling us that Social Security is going to run out and there will not be enough available to fund our retirements. Now, retiring isn't an option, right? At some point, we want to stop having to go to work every day and be able to live in the lifestyle that we choose to live in. So we have to prepare for that. If Social Security isn't going to cover us, back when I was a kid, we were told that, you go to work for a big corporation and they will help with your retirement and then the government will make up the rest and you'll have a wonderful retirement years. Well, people are living longer and longer than they ever were when that model existed. And so businesses and the government have long since abandoned that promise of a bright future without you having to contribute or do anything on your own. So how do we do this? What do we do? What do we want to think about? And why is this important? Well, retiring isn't an option. At some point, as we get older, we wear out. We get tired of going at a frantic pace all of our career. It's my peacock friend back there. And so we want to make sure that we are planning for what might happen or what could happen. There's things that we want to make sure that we put in place and prepare for the time that we want to slow down and spend time with our grandkids and do things that we've always wanted to do and pursue interests that we as human beings have. So a couple of questions today. Number one, if Social Security is not going to be around, then what are you doing right now today to plan for your retirement? Because most people don't plan on being, living on the street and being homeless. So how do we prevent that? How do we make sure that we set aside funds and save funds for our future? First and foremost, there's a couple of really cool, easy ways to do that. A lot of companies will match, I need more coffee, whatever you decide to invest in your retirement up to a certain percentage. I worked for a company, one of my first companies out of college, not my first career. They had an employee match and I funded that. But also the next couple of companies I worked for did that. One matched up to 15% of the amount that you put in. They would match that up to 15% of your total salary, or not your total benefits, your total salary. So that's like free money. Why would you not put that into that fund and save it for your retirement? So instead of just saving 15% of my retirement, they matched that. So I was saving up to 30% of my salary every month by me contributing and my employer contributing. That is free money. I am a big fan of free money, and I hope that you are too. We also need to keep in mind that we should be setting aside, as a good rule of thumb, 15 to 20% of our income for our retirement and putting that in a longer term investment, higher yield, usually a little more risky type investments for our retirement fund. Why? Because we want to take that thing called compound interest and have it working in our favor. A lot of times it's not working in our favor. Think of your credit card interest. Think of your home interest. Think of any interest that you pay. So do you have, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You don't have to answer them, but you need to answer them for yourself. Do you have retirement savings? Check your retirement savings today and see how much is in there. See how much is funded. Think about the lifestyle you want to live when you retire, and then figure out your annual expenses. Take 25 times, I think, because the belief is the average person will live 25 years beyond or in retirement. You want to have enough money to fund that. Well, how much are you going to need? So you take your annual expenses and then times 25, and that's the amount of the nest egg that you need to have in savings in order to live the lifestyle that you want. Now, you increase that amount if you want to live a higher quality of life, and you decrease it if you say, hey, I'm going to move to a tropical island and it's only going to cost me 1/10 as much as I thought it was going to. So I need I need less money than I thought I did to fund it. But actually have a plan. Why? Because if we plan for things, we're much more likely to have success with them than if we just wing it. The vast majority of people still to this day are just winging it. And so they're going to be in huge denial and shock when it comes to the retirement age, and they want to retire, but they're not going to be able to because they don't have any funds available. So ask yourself a couple questions today. At my current rate of savings, am I going to be able to retire at X age, whatever age you want to retire at? I always thought I'd retire at 50, and then I would just enjoy my life. I'd travel around the country in a luxury RV and see every state, and then I would start traveling internationally. Well, that didn't happen because I had a sudden cardiac arrest at 50, and that put me behind the 8 ball when it came to my retirement savings, which I would work anyway because I love business and I love working, and I don't want to really retire. I want to keep doing the things I love to do. And I think once the things that you do for a living, if you love them and are passionate about them, you don't really care about stopping them. And actually, you don't want to necessarily stop them. But I actually invested. I had my nest egg in my investment, but lost it and then built it up again, and then decided to use it to help people that I love and care about. And so I am actually in the mode of rebuilding up a retirement fund so that I can still travel and do things, but I'll probably still keep working. I'll probably still keep showing up because I think that we're here to continually improve and make the world a better place. And if you're not showing up, you're not doing that, in my humble opinion. So how much? Check your retirement accounts today. I challenge you to check your retirement accounts today and see where you're at. And then based on that, calculate how old you'll be when you can actually retire. I'd have to be pretty old right now before I could physically comfortably retire and live the lifestyle that I want to live without supplementing it with some sort of business and some sort of contribution to the world, so that, remember, what we put out into the world is what we get back. And then I also challenge you today to think of one luxury item, one thing that we think we have to have and need, but we really don't. If we stop doing that, we could contribute those funds and reallocate those funds to and toward our retirement savings and our retirement account. I think of things like, if you smoke, my sister, I am so proud of my sister. My oldest sister just quit smoking, and she has smoked since we were teenagers, and a lot. And she smokes like, I think a pack of her cigarettes is up to $16, $17. And so for Lent, she gave up smoking, and she hasn't smoked for over a month, which I find absolutely incredible. And I'm really, really proud of her. But that's a luxury item. $15 a day adds up pretty fast, or $16 plus tax a day adds up pretty fast to put toward your retirement. So think of one thing like that. And then share in the comments below just what percentage of your income you're setting aside for your retirement. If you're already retired, just say, I'm retired, or just say retired in the comments below. Otherwise, put what percent of your income you're setting aside for your retirement right now. I know mine's a lot higher now than it was. If I'd been asked this question 10, 15 years ago, it was like 15%. Now it's more like 50% because I know I'm getting older. I really want to work forever, but I don't want to work forever. So I need to prepare and replace the funds that I've used and reallocated for other things that need to go back into that type of a savings plan. All right. Any questions about this? I'm obviously really tired. I'm losing my voice. I'm still on spring break with my daughter and my granddaughters, and so I'm not getting enough sleep. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. I do have a super busy day today, so the earlier you get in touch with me, the faster I'll be able to get back with you. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.